whole school literally hates me for no reason. Why don't I go hook up with her boyfriend? Like, I tell you that we got to school on Monday, the whole school knew about this. All hell broke loose. Pandora's box popped open. Freaking apocalypse, World War III, like, these bitches could never. These bitches could never. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Let me just start and say this. The background is not finished, okay? There's a lot that has to go into it. I have had strep throat, which reminds me, I need to take my antibiotics, like, literally right now, or I'm gonna die. Strep throat, I've had strep throat for the past, like, 4 days. That's why there was no video last week. I'm also prepping for Vlogmas because we are doing Vlogmas this year. If you don't follow me on Instagram, obviously you don't know that. So you should follow me on Instagram. It'll be over here somewhere, as well as my podcast, all that good stuff. But guys, we're doing Vlogmas this year. I'm so freaking excited. I'm going to post a video every single day for the next 25 days. Oh no, my hot cocoa. I had a festive hot cocoa and it's deflated. The hopes from my last relationship. Yeah, happy Vlogmas day 1. I'm so excited to be back. We're gonna do a story time today. This intro is a little bit weird. Let's start over, okay? Hi, my name is Dakota. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. If you are new, what's up? My name is Dakota. Just said that like literally 600 times. I make a ton of content on this channel, included but not limited to story times, advice, lifestyle content. So if that is something that you're interested in, consider hitting the subscribe button because I'm sick and you should feel bad for me. Also hit the like button and hit the bell icon so you're notified every single time I post a video here on my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time, and this is a very juicy, tea-filled, potent story time for when I was in high school. And yo, literally, okay, so I had these two friends, and I was good friends with both of them, but I was more so like good friends with this one. And this one had a man's, and this man's cheated on my friend with our other friend, and they were friends, okay? And me and my other friend felt so bad for this friend because this friend hooked up with her man's that we made a fake screen name. It was like some Pretty Little Liar shit, okay? And literally messaged her. It was like, what was the screen name? I think the screen name was like, we know 203. Like it was, no, it was like, don't tell 824. Like it was something so stupid. We literally messaged our friend on AIM. If you don't know what AIM is, girl. Instant Messenger is a thing that we used to use back in the day. I feel so fucking old saying this, where we, like, you know how you message on Facebook? Essentially that's what it was, but you had like a screen name. My screen name was Back to Reality X3. Also it was Eye Candy because, girl, I was not eye candy back then. I was so hit. I didn't get cute till I was like 21, honestly. Now, please, you can never. Yes, you could. Anyway, literally messaged her on AIM, and we're like, I told her the whole entire thing. We spilled the whole tea, and yo, we caused so much drama. So much drama between this friend group. So if that's something that you would like to hear, all you have to do is keep on watching because we're gonna get into it. Grab your hot cocoa, grab your OhThatsTi energy drink. Please sponsor me. I drink these constantly. Grab your antibiotics, grab anything you need, your wine, your snacks. Let's get into it because we're gonna spill the tea. The tea is hot and steaming, okay? It's, oh my God. Ah! I didn't do that. I swear to God, I did not do that on purpose. I did not do that. Yo, talk about synchronicity, right? Oh, guys, look at my nails. Hold on, wait, real quick. Look how cute. Look how cute. You see the little snowflakes and the V-tips, the acrylics, the shape. Oh, you bitches could never. Your nail tech could never. Okay, and I know Alexis Jada. Okay, love her though. Like she's. If Alexis Jada ever, guys, okay, please, if you don't know who Alexis Jada is, she's a storytime teller on here. And while we're at it, calling for, Samantha, I love you, but I cannot pronounce your YouTube name. But me and Sam, like, we're internet homegirls, but eventually we're going to be, like, in-person homegirls. But her channel is calling for, I don't know if it's Snow or Snoo. Girl, I'm so sorry. Please don't be mad at me. But it's spelled Callinfor. I'm just going to link it in the description, but it's S-N-O-O, okay? Love her. Great Storytime channel. OhThatsTi. Great Storytime channel. Love her so much. That's my internet homegirl too. We will be in-person homegirls one day. But for now, that's what it is. But love those two. Those are like my YouTube sisters, I call them, because we just talk all the time. We give each other tips, advice, and we shout each other out. So go watch their channels, tell them I sent you. And then Alexis Jada, obviously, Nikki Glamour paved the way. Y'all know who Nikki Glamour is. Alexis Jada is way bigger than me. I don't even know why I'm talking as if I know her. She is a Storytime teller. We have a lot of the same background, so I looked up to her a lot. But every video, she does like a bomb-ass makeup look, and she's actually like a makeup artist. Like, she's good. So go follow her. She also has hour-long story times. If she ever commented or ever saw one of my videos, it would like literally be Christmas to me. So if y'all go, make sure that you say I sent you. Who I've been watching lately is Symone. With Symone, she has such a good channel and she's growing like literally so fast. She doesn't know who I am either, but just go watch her and tell her I sent you, because she has some good ass story, like juicy receipts, story times. And then Robyn Banks is another one. Jimip, love her. She is freaking, I love her channel too. Anyway, we're gonna do Get Ready With Me. Let's get into it.
Always talk about keep it real, only till you pat your fill. Then you wanna cry ill will. Really thought you know the deal. Oh well, I guess that's what happens. Two fools be falling in love.
The story is gonna take place when I was a freshman in high school, but I have to give you guys a backstory, otherwise the upcoming details aren't going to make sense. So I had this one friend, and as you guys know, I was moving to New Jersey from Connecticut. I literally was in 7th grade. My mom met a guy and they decided they were gonna get married. So we picked up literally like all of our stuff. I left all my friends, all my family, and I moved to New Jersey. Now, to prep me for my move, my mom decided it would be a good idea for us to go visit New Jersey like every other weekend. So like we would go and stay at my stepdad's house, and maybe my stepbrother could like introduce me to some people. That way I can have friends. And she just wanted me to like know people before I went to like school, you know? So we thought that would be a good idea. And so I met this girl. Well, okay, there was this girl who lived across the street from where my stepdad's house was. She is not relevant in this story, and I have nothing bad to say about her. She's a lovely, lovely, lovely girl. It's her friend that I got the problem with. Okay, anyway, so her friend, we're going to call her for this story Alicia, because I'm obsessed with Nikki Glamour, and I always watch her videos, and that's the first name that popped into my head. So we're going to call her Alicia. Alicia was my age at the time. We were, it doesn't matter, but we were at the same age, okay? This was 8th grade. No, this was 7th grade. And so basically this town was so small, okay, you guys, so small. Nothing new ever happened. It was the same story, different freaking melody, like same song, different melody. It was just like every single day was the same thing in this town. It was like in The Giver. So when something new happened, it was like, oh my God, excitement. So they found out, like all the people in the town found out that a new girl was coming to town, that new girl being me. So everybody was freaking out. Everyone wanted to know what I looked like. Everyone wanted to know what I like, just everything about me, right? And it was very weird because I was not popular growing up. So this was the first time that I actually felt like, oh, like people like give a shit, you know? So people saw my social media, which at the time was literally just MySpace. Like there was nothing else. Like there was nothing else. It was just MySpace. Because we didn't have Facebook. I think we just got Facebook that year. And AIM, but there was no Instagram, there was no Snapchat, there was no TikTok, there was no Vine even. There was literally, you guys don't even know what Vine is. There was nothing. So they saw my social media through MySpace and they were like, oh my God, this girl looks like Alicia. So then when Alicia caught wind that somebody looked like her, she messaged me and she was like, oh my God, we look alike. I'm actually friends with your neighbor. So when you come up here, because they were like, oh, is she ever gonna come visit? And the girl across the street was like, yeah, her stepbrother told me that she was gonna come visit every other weekend because her mom wants her to like make friends, so when she comes up here, she's not like, not in the mix, you know? So she was like, when you come up here with so-and-so, you know, girl across the street, we should link up. And so the girl across the street told me at a very, very early time at a point, okay? And I should have listened to her. And if you're watching this, like I said, I'm not giving her a name because I love her. But I should have fucking listened to you. But she told me early on, she goes, look, Alicia's a cool girl. She's very popular here, but she is messy. She talks shit about everybody. She has a new best friend every week. Like, she literally was like, she doesn't keep secrets. Like, I'm telling you right now, just be careful. And I was like, okay, you know, thank you so much. Like, thanks for letting me know. And that was that. So it got to the point where, like, people were calling us twins. They were like, oh, the twins. Like, when she gets here, they're going to be called the twins. Like, they look so much alike, blah, blah, blah. And then it got to the point where, like, you guys know back then, I always say back then as if I grew up in, like, the fucking 40s. When we used to make on, what was that shit called? Like, Photo Bucket or whatever. Like, when you used to, like, edit photos and, like, you would put, like, stupid, like, little writing and stuff like that. Please, in the comments, tell me if you guys remember this, because I feel like I'm talking to, like, my grandchild, and I don't even have a grandchild yet. Alright, I'm sorry if you hear the garbage. It's Monday, and apparently they want to come take out the trash now. They've had all fucking morning, but of course when I'm filming, that's when they want to start. So she made, like, pictures of us where it was, like, twins, like, my 20 for life, blah, 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 whatever. So everybody started to find out who I was, because she would post these pictures, and then people would be like, oh, who is that? They'd be like, oh, who is that? She's hot. Or, like, who is that? Like, she looks weird. Like, they just had, like, mixed opinions about me. Like, some people thought I was cute, some people thought I was ugly, whatever, I don't care. And so then everybody, literally from, like, not even, like, my grade, like, grades even above me, were just starting to find out who I was. My stepbrother was 2 years older than me. So even people from his grade was like, yo, like, that's your stepsister, blah, blah, blah. So it was crazy. I was getting all this recognition, and, like, I was basically making all these friends without even moving to the town yet. And it was, like, really weird. And then I was like, you know what? Like, maybe this will actually be a good thing for me. Like, maybe I'll actually end up liking it. So what happens is I was supposed to go to New Jersey the following weekend, and then I guess something crazy happened. I guess the girl across the street and Alicia stopped being friends, because we all had this thing where we were all going to go to the girl across the street's house, and we were all going to have a sleepover. Like, we were going to eat ice cream and have a sleepover and go walking around, whatever. And I guess either the girl across the street or Alicia got grounded, something like that, okay? And then before I even get there, Alicia messages me and was like, oh, like, I heard you don't want to be friends anymore. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what I did. And I'm like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said that. And that's when I found out that this town was just full of drama. But it's not because of the people. It's because the town is so small. It's 2.7 miles. All they have to do is talk shit about each other. That's literally it. So it's like, hello, obviously, like, there's going to be drama, you know? I'm not talking shit about the town at all. I loved living there. To this day, I would still probably move back there if it wasn't so expensive. It was just like going from Stratford, Connecticut, which is a population of a ton of people of all different races, to a predominantly white town of 2.7 miles, like a small graduating class. It was culture shock for me. It was freaking weird. So yeah, to say the least, it was definitely weird. So we get that shit squared away, and I'm like, girl, I never talked about you. And she's like, oh, okay, cool, I can't wait to meet you. So when I come up that weekend, I don't see her, because I think either she was grounded or the girl across the street, I don't know. So long story short, that's how I got to know Alicia. Eventually, I ended up moving there, and me and her became friends. I also became friends with the girl across the street and a couple of other people. So summer before going into 8th grade, this is going to be my first year at this school, I started to meet a few people, and it was cool. Like, you know, like, she would introduce me, like, whatever. I was getting acquainted with the town, and I was getting used to it. So before 8th grade, we went on a little trip together, and I went with her family, and it was really fun. But that's when I started to notice the person that Alicia was. And this was the type of person that she was. Alicia would talk shit about everybody. You know, that girl that just talks crap about absolutely everybody? That was Alicia. About her best friends, about the guy she was dating, about this girl, about that girl, X, Y, and Z. And one thing that my mom always taught me growing up is, if your friend is talking about everybody else, best believe she's talking about you too. And that shit is so true, and I will always and forever, like, have that in my mind. If there's anything that your big sister / cousin / unlicensed therapist could tell you, it's that if your friend is talking shit about everybody to you, best believe that she's talking shit about you to everybody else. Just believe that, okay? Notice that she was also like a little bit messy. Like she was always in drama. She was always fighting with somebody, and that she wasn't really a nice person. Like, if we're just being honest, like, she wasn't a nice person. And the reason why I'm giving her a name is because she's gonna be relevant in a lot of my high school stories. Like, a lot. So, yeah. And no hard feelings. It's just I look back at my time with her and I'm like, why was I like, I don't understand. Anyway, time goes on. We go into 8th grade. And there was a point in time where me and her stopped being friends, and it was because okay, quick backstory. I want to say it was maybe winter of 8th grade, so like December, January. I started getting bullied really bad. So when I first got into this town, like everybody was like obsessed with me. Everybody was like, I want to be friends with her, I want to get to know her, X, Y, and Z. And I was getting this like popularity that I wasn't used to. And what I didn't realize is that popularity comes with a lot of hate at the same time. So the whole school went to loving me to hating me in like literally 2 days. There was this boy, and we're not going to give him a name because I just don't care to, and he's already apologized, and oh no, he hasn't actually, but we're not going to give him a name. I started dating him, and then we broke up, and then he started just spreading awful rumors about me that weren't true. Just terrible rumors about me, and everybody started bullying like the shit out of me. And when that happened, I literally lost all my friends. Like, I'm not even joking, I lost all of my friends. Everybody hated me, everybody was always talking about me. It was really bad. So anyway, this girl like didn't particularly get involved with the bullying. I'm sure she talked about me behind my back, but she never said anything to my face. But she stopped being friends with me. Like, she wouldn't hang out with me. Like, we didn't like go anywhere or like do anything anymore. And at one point we were so close that we were doing something every single day. I was sleeping at her house every weekend. Another thing about this girl too was that she stole. So like, if you left something at her house, I'm just talking all the shit today. If you left a shirt at her house, you would never see that shirt again. Or she would tell you like, oh yeah, sorry, like I don't know what happened to it. Like, I don't have it anymore. Like, oh, I gave it back to you months ago. And then you'd see her in a picture with the shirt. She stole my friend's camera one time. Like, she literally stole my friend's camera, and then her mom had to like call her mom and like go in the house and get it. I left my charger, I think, at her house one time. My phone was like dead, and I was so afraid to tell my mom because my mom always told me like, if you leave something at your friend's house, like, you're grounded. Like, so I was afraid to tell her, and like, she didn't give it back to me for like a whole entire week. Like, just like ridiculous stuff. Like, she just was not a good friend. Anyway, to preface that, keep that in mind. She stopped being friends with me because everybody started hating me, okay? Watch how this comes full circle. So basically what had happened was, summer comes, right? Summer going into freshman year, and by this time I had stopped being bullied as much, and I actually started to make my own friend group, and I was having a good time, you know. I was just like excited to go to a new school, because here 7th and 8th grade, there 7th and 8th grade are middle school, and then high school is 9th grade. I know people do it differently other places, but that's how it was there. So I was going to a completely new school. I was like, all this drama is gonna be in the past, so I fucking thought, and I'm excited for a fresh new start, right? I was excited to do that, and the summer comes and goes. I still don't really talk to Alicia at all. Kind of done with that friendship. Like, guys, when I literally would tell you, she would talk crap about like her best friends. Like, she had this friend group that she was best friends with, would talk crap about them all the time, but then go hang out with them. Like, I'm not joking. Like, she just was that type of person, and like, she would say like horrible things about their looks, what they looked like, or she was that girl, like, if you're like in a group of guys and they're talking bad about a girl, like say like a girl is like really pretty, but like a guy is like salty because he tried to get at her and she like rejected him, like, and he would be like, oh yeah, she got a weird nose, like, oh yeah, she got a weird body. She would chime in, and it would be like one of her best friends, and she'd be like, oh yeah, she's too skinny, she the like, girl, you're just saying that because you want this guy to give you attention. Like, I was just like, you know what, like, I'm not gonna be friends with her, it's not gonna happen, you know, we had our time, and I have a better friend group now. Well, little Miss Alicia did too much crap talking, and apparently all her friends found out, and they stopped being friends with her. And the girls that she was friends with, like, held power. Like, they were like, everyone's gonna know who I'm talking about. I don't care though, I'm never gonna go back there again. So the friend group that she was in, like, those girls held power. They were popular. When I tell you popular, like the Regina Georges. Like, but they weren't mean. They were, like, I will say, they were not mean. They were nice girls, but they held power, like, literally so much power, to the point where, like, if like, okay, you know how we have, like, cancel culture, this day and age? If they wanted to cancel somebody, they'd fucking be canceled like that. You don't even have to say why. Just, oh, you're not hanging out with her anymore? Okay, cool, neither are we. Like, literally, they held power, like, over our whole entire grade. So they hated her, and so therefore everybody else, like, literally, you guys, when I tell you, not even just our grade, people from all different grades, the whole, like, even the whole high school before she even got there, everybody hated her. And when I say hated, like, I'm not using that shit lightly. Like, everybody hated her. And when you would ask, like, oh, why do you hate Alicia? They'd be like, I don't know. Everybody else does, so I do. Like, stupid stuff like that, right? So, basically, she didn't have any friends left. And I felt really bad. And I'm the type of person where, like, if you wrong me, but then I see you're in a tough position, like, I'm still gonna try to help you. And that's probably something that isn't good and that I shouldn't do, but I do it. And that's what I did with her, even though she wronged me, because when everybody, you know, started not liking me for no reason, she basically turned her back on me. I felt like I needed to be there for her, because she had, like, guys, when I tell you she had no friends, she had no friends at all. And I just was like, you know what, like, that's not right, you know, like, you don't kick somebody when they're down. So she started reaching out to me, and I was hanging out with her, and we would hang out sometimes. We would go for walks, we would go, you know, have sleepovers, like, we were chill. So the first day of school comes around, and I remember that we had the same homeroom together, and we had the same, no, not the same homeroom. We had the same gym period together. So get this is how fake girls are, okay? I'm gonna let this sit for a second so I can explain. There was this girl group, okay? And there was, like, maybe about 5 or 6 girls in it, okay? 2 of the girls that were in that group were Alicia's best friends. I'm talking about best friends, like, best friends for fucking years, okay? The other girls in that group that had a problem with Alicia, and the reason why she got kicked out of it and everybody started hating her, those 2 girls that were her best friends, like, went and joined that group and completely shut Alicia out and used past problems from, like, years ago, literally years ago, to be like, oh, we're not friends anymore because of this. It has nothing to do with them hating you. It's because I have my own personal issues with you. Like, girl, no. You are just starting to hate her because you want to be in this group and you don't want to get backlash for it. Like, let's be real. So that's what happened, and I felt bad for her. I was like, that's grimy, because they should have been there for you. Like, those were your friends first. Like, you introduced them to these girls. Like, that's messed up, you know? So we started to be friends, and on the first day of school, we all ended up having the same gym period together, okay? So in gym, basically what you do is before gym class starts, you get assigned seats on the fucking floor, because it's ghetto. You get assigned seats on the floor. You guys, I just realized, okay, the video of I fought my best friend, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it somewhere here, but I talked about this girl already, and her name was Cassandra. Alright, we're gonna just call her Alicia Cassandra, like, kind of like a Justin Bobby type thing from the hills, like, why not? And then the girl, remember in the video when I fought my best friend, I was talking about Caesar, how he had this, like, ex-girlfriend that couldn't stand me? This is the girl I'm talking about that was also, okay, the 2 girls in the friend group, this is not relevant, but the 2 girls in the friend group that were friends with Alicia Cassandra, and I fucking hate myself, and then ended up going with that other group and, like, basically betraying her. That was, like, one of the girls. Oh, this is so messy. Okay, in the video, which she's gonna get her own separate video, but we're not gonna name her. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I already talked about this girl a little bit, but not too much in that story time. But anyway, we had the same gym period. So, you know, over the course of however many weeks, the two girls in that friend group that was with the girls that couldn't stand Alicia Cassandra started hanging out with Alicia Cassandra during gym class. And they would hang out, they would laugh. It looked like they never stopped being friends. But at any point in time, if Alicia Cassandra tried to talk to them, like in the hallway or something like that, they wouldn't talk to her because they didn't want people knowing that they were like cool with her again, because they were afraid that the girl group they were a part of were gonna like cancel them too or get mad at them. So they would only be friends with Alicia Cassandra in gym class. That was literally it. Like, that's the only time they would ever like talk to her or acknowledge her or anything, is then when they were in gym class. So when we were in gym class, they would talk all the time, like they would laugh, they would like pretend to like be friends, whatever. And then sometimes they would even end up going to lunch together. But again, they didn't want that girl group finding out about it, so they made sure that they had like different, they only went to lunch with her because they had different lunch periods. So for lunch, we were allowed to go out and like go walk or go drive, like wherever we wanted to, or we could stay on, you know, at the school site or whatever. So they all had different lunch periods. So those two girls would go with Alicia Cassandra to lunch, and then like the girl group would just like never know about it. So it was like a double life. They would pretend to be friends with her in gym class, and then when outside of gym class, they would not speak to her literally at all. Like, it was so crazy. And then outside of that, I was really her only friend besides a couple other people. And I just felt really bad for her. And like, I remember like a lot of times I would tell her, I'd be like, I don't care how much crap I get for hanging out with you. Like, I like you. I think that, you know, like everybody, the reason why they like dislike you is just so stupid. And they have no reason. Like, people, they would be like, oh, like, why do you hate Alicia Cassandra? And they'd be like, I don't know, everybody else does. Like, such stupid stuff. So I told her, I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to stop being friends with you. Like, I don't care how much crap I get. And I got a lot of crap for it. A lot of crap for hanging out with this girl. A lot of it. But I was like, you know what? No, I don't care, because, like, she needs somebody right now, and I'm going to be that person for her. She ended up royally screwing me over later on, which is why I don't feel bad about when I'm about to tell you what I did. But that comes later, so just wait. Just wait. Get ready. Okay, so some time goes on, and Alicia Cassandra and this girl that I was friends with and she was friends with, we're going to give her a name. We're going to call her Maddie, okay? So Maddie was one of the girls in that group that was like, that would like pretend to be friends with Alicia Cassandra during gym class and like go to lunch with her. And then outside of that would like never talk to her because she didn't want like her friend group knowing that she was friends with her, because everybody like hated her. And also the girls in that group are the reason why everybody hated her, because they canceled her. So basically it was like this secret friendship they had, right? Which is why Alicia Cassandra is so stupid for doing what she did. But anyway, our friend Maddie had a man's. Oh my god, wait, it's the same guy from, this is why my stories are so good, because they all correlate. What's that story time? I think it's the story time of I cheated. No, wait. This story time doesn't really have that many views, and I don't understand why, because it's so juicy. Got caught cheating story time. It's the caught her cheating and I snitched story time. Remember I was talking about Paige and her man? What did I name him? Peter. I named him Peter. Okay, remember Peter? That was like, okay, so if you didn't see that story time, basically Peter was dating this girl, and he was like one of like my guy best friends. She cheated on him. I told him, he threw me under the bus. This boy was so messy. But if you guys didn't see that story, go check out that story too. But Peter and Maddie, this was like at least 2 years before the whole that whole situation happened, where he was dating Paige and she cheated on him, and I tried to tell him, and he went and like behind my back and told her, like made my life hell for like 3 months, right? This is another story where I try to be a good person. I just need to learn to stop getting in shit that has nothing to do with me, even if it means people not know. Anyway, her and Maddie at this time were dating. Now, I don't know why, but for some reason, Peter, he was a grade ahead of us, but he had the same homeroom as us. I don't know why. It was like the weirdest thing ever, but he had the same homeroom as me and my freshman friends, but he was a sophomore. And no, he didn't stay back. We had no idea why this happened. I think they just like didn't have room for him in there or something. I don't know. But we had the same homeroom. So because we had the same homeroom, me and Maddie had the same homeroom, and Maddie and Peter started to talk a little bit, and I think it literally was because we had the same homeroom. Like, I think that they just like connected or something. I don't know why, but they somehow like connected because of that. Anyway, they start dating, like so much to the point, and normally Peter was not the type of person to like kiss girls in the hallway or like let anybody know like who he was dealing with. Like, he was not that type of person, but with Maddie, he really liked her, and he was, so like he was starting to like kiss her in the hallway. They were like, would like take pictures together and like put it on social media. And here's the messed up part. Alicia Cassandra knew this. She knew this because when we would be in gym, Maddie would be talking about him and their problems or like their good stuff or whatever. Like, you know, you vent to your friends. So Alicia Cassandra knew this, and so for her to say that she didn't blows me away. One day, it was a Friday. We all go to gym class. We're all talking. We're all laughing. Gym class was so much fun. In volleyball, I was like the best server ever. I literally was called the star server. I'm literally not joking. Like, that's the only thing I was good at in gym. The only thing. So anyway, one day we're all in gym class, we're all talking, having a good time, shooting the shit, laughing it up, and what's her name? Alicia Cassandra is talking about how she's gonna go to her friend's house over the weekend, that she's gonna have like a little get together. It's like nothing serious, just something small. Doesn't invite us, but just is like talking about it basically. We were like all talking about like our weekend plans. So Alicia Cassandra was saying that, and then Maddie was like, oh yeah, I think me and Peter are gonna hang out, yada yada, and goes. And then Monday comes around. Now, for some reason, Maddie was not in school that day. I know I look crazy, but just trust the process, okay? Maddie was not in school that day, and I don't know why. Don't ask me, but she wasn't in school. And so I remember being like, oh, that's weird. Like, Maddie's always in school. Like, she's always here. I wonder why she's not. So I go to gym class, and obviously, like I just said, Maddie's not there. So we had this one day every week, I think it was maybe Thursday, where the teachers would allow us to bring our iPods. A specials day. So what you got to do is you either got to stay in the gym and play volleyball, you got to go to the weight room, or you could bring your iPod and you could go walk around the auditorium. And like, when I tell you, like, we had to walk the whole entire time, and we weren't walking, Miss Allen, if you knew who Miss Allen was, she would be like, girls, walk or you're leaving. Like, she was serious, but I loved her for that because she always just wanted to make sure like we were in shape. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to make sure we were healthy, we were good. So Miss Allen was on top of our shit, and if you were not walking, you had to leave. So I remember that was my favorite day of the whole entire week because I loved music, and at the time I was going through so much stuff at home, literally so much stuff, that was like my day where I knew like I cannot wait for gym class to walk around so I could listen to my music, pretend that I'm in a Christina Milian music video and that I'm rich and that I'm famous, and fuck all you hoes, and I can manifest the life that's gonna come to me one day and drown out all my issues. That was my favorite day of the week, okay? I got my little blue iPod Nano, and I was hyped to walk around the gym and listen to my song. Now, I had a friend, and her name was Olivia, and I'm just gonna use her real name because I'm pretty sure she don't watch my videos. We never talk anymore. Like, really, like, we're not in each other's lives at all, so I'm just gonna use her name. So her name was Olivia, and me and her were best friends, and we used to always walk around together, and I would share like an ear pod with her. But this day Olivia was homesick too, so it was just me and Alicia Cassandra. Like, literally everybody else that normally would have been there wasn't there. It was so weird. So me and Alicia Cassandra start walking around, and we're listening to our music, and then she goes and she takes her little earbud out, and she goes, I have something to tell you. And so I take mine out, and I'm like, what's the tea? And so we have to make sure like we're still walking. So I'm walking, I'm like this, and I'm still trying to like listen to her at the same time. I'm trying to get the tias, I'm trying to get my waist snatched. Like, I'm walking, and she goes, I hooked up with Peter. And I literally, guys, I stopped walking and I stared at her to the point where Miss Allen was like, Dakota, pick up the pace. Like, you have to start walking. Like, why are you stopping in the middle of the auditorium? Like literally, like, that's like how I was like, girl, I was so confused. I was so confused. So I look at her and I'm like, what do you mean that you and he, like Maddie's talking to Peter? And she goes, well, apparently, like, they're not really that serious. And she's like, honestly, like, before this weekend, I didn't even really know that they were, like, together. And I'm like, girl, Maddie was just talking about on Friday how she was going to go hang out with Peter this weekend. So you knew. Why you act like you don't know? You knew. So basically, she tells me that she went to her friend's house and that her friend had a little get-together. Her friend had an older brother. He's going to be in one of my story times, too. Girl, I was a mess back then. Anyway. Her older brother had older friends, obviously, who would like come over to the house and stuff like that. So apparently her older brother invited Peter over to the house. And Peter and Alicia Cassandra were there, and I guess they were drinking and they were playing games, and they all ended up spending the night there. And Alicia Cassandra thought, I just got back in Maddie's good graces. We just started being friends again. I already have so much drama going on to the point where the whole school literally hates me for no reason. Why don't I go hook up with her boyfriend? Like this day, I can't tell you what her thought process was. I couldn't tell you because I don't know. Like, why would you do that? I just don't understand. Where in your mind you think that that's a good idea? Like why would you do that, you know? So I'm like, girl, like, why would you do that? Like, you know how much she likes him, like, you know, you guys just started like being like good again, like, I don't understand why you would do that. She was like, oh, I know, like, I kind of feel bad about it, but she's like, at the same time, you know, like, me and him have been texting and I kind of like him. And I'm like, I thought she was just gonna tell me that they hooked up and that was that. No, she had a plan. She wanted to be with him. And I'm like, girl. Oh, and let me remind you, Alicia Cassandra had a fucking boyfriend. She had a boyfriend. And we're not gonna name him. He's not relevant, but relevant? Are those both words? Somebody needs to make a compilation. The video where you take a bunch of videos from somebody's compilation, a thing of me trying to pronounce words that I can't pronounce. Like when I was trying to say alias, I said a lot. Like what was I talking about in my last video? So I told her, I'm like, girl, you have a boyfriend. Like on top of it, like that's her man's. Like why are you getting yourself involved in this mess? And she's like, I know. And she's like, I think I'm gonna break up with my boyfriend because I actually really like Peter. And I'm like, yeah, but Peter and Maddie are together. And she's like, no, I know, but like, we've been texting and stuff. And I'm like, okay, but like you guys did what you did. It's over now. Move on. Like what's not clicking, Steven? Yeah, you're probably right, but I don't know. I'm just going to go with the flow and see what happens. Now, when this happened, I went and told my best friend, Olivia, because I told her everything. And I'm like, girl, you're never going to believe what happened. And she goes, what? And I was like, girl, Maddie and Peter hooked up. And she's like, wait, but I was like, Alicia Cassandra and Peter hooked up. And she's like, yeah, but isn't Maddie with him? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh girl, like that's messed up. I can't believe she would do that. And I was like, I know, that's like me doing that to you. Like, because Alicia Cassandra and Maddie were like best friends at one point. Before Maddie left her to go to that friend group, they were best friends, like attached at the fucking hip. And yeah, maybe, you know, she was in that friend group now and they weren't as close, but like, you still never lose that bond. So I was really surprised, and that's why I said, like, she just wasn't a good person. Like, you could just tell that she just would, like, do horror. Like, if you could do that to, like, somebody that was your best friend, you're just not a good person, you know? So time goes on, and basically Maddie and Peter end up still, like, being fine. They still end up, like, being together, being a couple. But secretly on the side, Alicia Cassandra and Peter are still texting, and sometimes over the weekends they would like hang out and stuff. Like they would go to that friend's house that I was telling you about with the older brother and the sister, and they would just like have parties and they would just like all sleep there, and like it was so messy. It was getting to the point where after every party she would come and she would tell me like what happened. And at this point I'm like, okay, the first time's a mistake, the second time's a choice. Like you're choosing now to be in gym class, go to lunch with this girl, laugh in her face, haha, kiki. Meanwhile, you're hooking up with her boyfriend behind her back. You're texting her boyfriend behind her back, and you laugh at it. You think it's okay. You think it's funny. Like, it's not funny. So anyway, time goes on and this keeps happening, and every single day that I'm seeing this, my stomach is just getting sick because I have this information, and yes, I'm friends with Alicia Cassandra, but at the same time, she ain't shit, and me and Maddie aren't like the best. Not that we didn't like each other, we loved each other, but at that point in time, eventually we became best friends. At that point in time, right then and there, me and her weren't like that close, you know what I'm saying? Like we like liked each other, we like, she's a cool girl, I would hang out with her if she ever asked me to at that time, but at that point in time we weren't like that close. But it's the principle of it, like so bad for her that I was like, I have to do something. I can't keep sitting here every single day, because at the same time that makes me fake. I'm also sitting here, you know, haha kikiing when we're in gym class and, you know, we're all doing whatever, but I know information about her friend that's doing her dirty. That makes me fake too. So I just, it didn't sit right in my moral compass. I couldn't stand to keep it to myself anymore. I was just like, I need to do something with this information. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, like what can I do that's not going to get me in trouble, right? Like what can I do that's not going to, ooh, this color is really pretty. It's called the Cocoa. All right, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. Okay, so I'm like, okay, like what can I do with this information that's not going to get me in trouble, that's not going to have anybody know that it was me? Like, I want this information to get out there. I'm like, should I slip a note in her locker? I'm like, no, because our schools have cameras. I'm like, should I tell her on the side? And then I'm like, no, because then she's going to know that, you know, I told her. Like, she's going to know it's me, obviously, if I'm telling her to her face. And then I'm like, should I go tell, like, one of her friends? So maybe, like, you know, they could whatever and tell her. And then I'm like, no, because again, they're gonna know it's me. So I'm like, how could I tell her in the most discreet way possible, basically without her knowing it's me? And I'm thinking, and then me and my friend one weekend, we were talking about it. We were like, because she said the same thing. Like, she really came up to me one day in the hallway and was like, girl, I can't take holding this in anymore. Like, every time I see Peter and Maddie in the hallway kissing, I feel like an idiot because I know this information about her man. Like, nobody's telling her and everyone's around her just like laughing about it. And I'm just like, girl, I know, like, what should we do? So one weekend we were having a sleepover because me and Olivia were best friends. When I tell you, like, I literally lived at that girl's house, it was to the point where her mom like considered me like a third daughter, like, because she had a little sister. Like, I was there all the time, literally all the time. Like, we were literally best friends, like best friends. That was probably, like, honestly to this day the most best, like, because you know, like when you say you have like that one best friend that you look back on and it's like, yo, like we were like attached at the hip. Like, that was literally me and her, best friends. So I'm over there, it's like 3 in the morning, and we're sitting there and we're on AIM. We have this was during a time where Jeffree Star wasn't even Jeffree Star yet. He was a musician, and I clearly remember my best friend, she was so obsessed with him at the time. She had the Jeffree Star sweatshirt on, and we were like watching his music videos. Why do I remember that so prominently? My memory is like A+. Sitting there and I get an idea and I'm like, we should make a fake AIM screen name and message her and tell her everything that we know. That way she can confront them, and if they lie or whatever, like, that's on them, but like at least we like tried, you know what I mean? And she's like, oh my god, Dakota, that's such a good idea, let's do it right now. So we go in our little Pretty Little Liars, Aria and Hannah, like Emily, Allison, and we start conjuring up our little plan. I'm not even gonna call it evil because we were genuinely like trying to help Maddie out, okay? So we go and we sit down and we make our fake little screen name, and I think honestly now that I'm thinking about it, it was like, don't tell that we told, like 278 or something like that. Like, so stupid. So like, we go and we message her and it was like, hey, is this Maddie? And she's like, yeah, who's this? And we were like, hi, this is 2 really close friends of yours, and we don't want to say who we are because this is a messy situation, but basically Peter and Alicia Cassandra have been hooking up behind your back for quite some time now, and nobody's telling you, and we think it's really messed up, and we just want you to know. And so she immediately starts like freaking out, and she believes us. She fully believes us, which just goes to show how much of an amazing A+ star student friend fucking Alicia Cassandra was, because if you believe it that fast, like, you secretly probably knew the whole time. But I don't blame her for wanting to like give people the benefit of the doubt. So we tell her, and she starts asking questions like, how long has this been going on? How do you even know? Like, can you please? She was like, and I still, like, to this day feel bad about this. Like, she was pleading with us, like, please just tell me who you are. I swear to God, like, I won't tell anybody. And we were just like, we can't, like, because it honestly, if we told, it would have just been so fucking messy. And we both knew that. So we're like, listen, like, we can't, but like, we're telling you. This is 1000% true. We have no reason to like make this up. And that's exactly what she said. She was like, that's why I believe you guys, because you have no, like, why would somebody make a fake screen name to message me and tell me like stuff that this girl's doing? Literally felt so bad. We were like, girl, we're sorry. And she kept asking, like, can you please just tell, like, I swear to God, I'll never tell anybody. And we couldn't chance it. Like, I even said, I was like, Olivia, no, like, we cannot. Olivia was like, should we tell her? I was like, fuck, no. No, we're not telling her. So, you wanna know what's funny is years later I ended up actually telling her that it was me, and she was like, no way. She was like, I knew it was you. And it's funny because when she was asking if it was the friends from that girl group that she was in. She was like, is it you? Is it you? Like, naming everybody. And we were like, no, it's not. And she actually never once named us, which I think maybe she didn't know how close I was with Alicia Cassandra, because she was probably talking shit about me the whole entire time. But she never named us, which I was kind of happy about, because I never had to like technically lie to her, you know? So basically that was on a Friday or a Saturday. And when we went to school that Monday, all hell broke loose. Pandora's box popped open. Freaking apocalypse. I tell you, when we got to school on Monday, the whole school knew about this. The whole school. And that was never our intention. We never did it to like spite Alicia Cassandra, because keep in mind, like, that was my friend too. It was just the principle of it, and I couldn't handle people like basically knowing this information and not telling Maddie, and just like basically like, haha, like, your good friend is playing you behind your back, but yeah, let's go to lunch together. Like, I couldn't stand it anymore. So basically what happened was, I guess over the weekend, she ended up confronting them. So she asked Alicia Cassandra, and she said no. And then Alicia Cassandra's boyfriend ended up reaching out to Peter and being like, did you and my girl hook up? And he said yes to him, but no to Maddie. Make it make sense. You can't cheat and be stupid. Pick a struggle. So basically there was just drama between Alicia Cassandra's boyfriend and Peter, and then Alicia Cassandra and Maddie. So keep in mind, Maddie and Peter were in the same homeroom with me. So Peter was like sitting up here, and then usually Maddie would sit back here. So the tension, you could cut it with a knife. It was so fucking thick. So thick. So basically Alicia Cassandra was like, F you to Peter. I want nothing to do with you. I'm pretty sure this is true, and like, that's grimy. Like, how could you do this type stuff, right? And he swore up and down that it never happened and blah, 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 and that she was tripping, like, you know, the normal stuff that guys do. But it was true. It was 100% true. Like, why, like, nobody has any reason to lie about that. Also, keep in mind that me, Alicia Cassandra, and Maddie have the same gym class. So, like, me and Olivia were just not thinking when we did this. Like, we weren't thinking about, like, oh my God, like, we all have the same, and also Olivia was in our gym class too. So it's like, dude, like, we have the same gym class together. Like, this is just not going to be the vibe. Like, if you guys literally want, like, the best combo for lips in the whole entire world, it's the, hold on, like, literally so freaking good. It's the NYX Cold Brew lip liner. I finally got my hands on the Milani lipsticks. This is in the color Tease. It is literally so gorgeous, so freaking gorgeous. And then on top of it, put Sugar High by NYX. So affordable, cute, nude. This is like my favorite nude combination. And then now I'm going to be using High Killa lashes in the style Leisure. This is literally my 17th time wearing these lashes. Like literally so cute. You guys ask me all the time what lashes I'm wearing. I only wear the Amazon lashes that I always have linked in my description, and High Killa lashes in the style Leisure and Round Trip. Like those are the only lashes I wear, dead ass. And I always have a coupon because High Killa, I support them so much and they support me, so we always work together. And they just are the best, most affordable lashes. There's always a bundle deal going on, which means that you can get 4 packs for like a certain price that is way lower than it usually is, and usually the lashes are only like $15. Like they are very affordable. I'll put the link in my description as well as my coupon code for 15% off. But as I was saying, we just went back to school and like everything was just turned upside down. And Peter was such a POS that I don't think he ever once like felt remorse for what he did. I think he was kind of just like, it is what it is. And that's the thing, is like, why can guys in high school do literally whatever they want and nobody looks at them like anything like happened, or they don't change their opinion about them, or like their character doesn't get, you know, defamed or anything like that? But if a girl does it, like she's a hoe, or she's loose, or she sleeps around. Like I hate the double standard that is high school. I really do. I didn't see Alicia Cassandra or talk to her about any of this. I think she was embarrassed, so she didn't tell me anything. And then when it came to Maddie, it was the same thing. So basically what happened was we were in gym and we were in the locker room, and all I saw before class was Maddie and Cassandra in like this little hallway where you would go through, and because there was a locker room and it was like benches and lockers, and then we would change and go to gym. To go to the gym, you had to pass by this little hallway. To the left there was 2 stalls, you know, for bathroom reasons, and then you would go up this little staircase and then you'd go into the gym. So they were sitting there and they were talking, and I remember I just looked at Olivia and I was like, oh shit, like what's gonna go on? Are they about to fight? Is it about to be like bad girls club? Like what is going to happen? And I remember I genuinely was like concerned. I was like, I don't want to have to break them up if they're fighting. And like, because Maddie was rough. One thing about Maddie is like, you looked at her and you knew that like she could mess you up. Like she was someone that you just like don't mess with. Like, and also she had like siblings and stuff that like same thing, like they will mess you up, like they will be like girl, like don't mess with them, like leave them alone. And that's why I'm saying it was so stupid for Alicia Cassandra to do this, because number one, Maddie will kill you, Maddie's sister will kill you, and number two, you and Maddie just started to be like good friends again, like you just got back in her good graces. Like why would you sabotage that, you know? So they basically end up talking, and I'm seeing Maddie, and as she's talking to her, she's like pounding her fists. And I don't think she was trying to be threatening. I think she just was like, that's how she talked. When you're in New Jersey, you talk with your hands. Like that's just what happens. So if you're from New Jersey, you know. She was just talking with her hands, and I saw her like kind of like going like this, and like she was pissed, and she had every right to be. And Alicia Cassandra was still denying it. And it's like, girl, we all knew you did it. The best thing right now is to admit it, say you're sorry, if you are sorry. I don't think you even are, but say you're sorry. What is this? Piece of dead skin. Love that. Say you're sorry, and then move on with it, and whatever happens, happens. If Maddie hates you, Maddie hates you. If she ends up forgiving you, she forgives you, but like, you need to just tell the truth, you know? So she's denying. Like she literally, like to this day, would probably deny that shit, right? So they're going, they're talking, whatever, but eventually we all end up like having to go to gym class, obviously. So the 5-minute warning bell rings, and that was basically a warning that you had, or no, 2-minute, which basically means like you have 2 minutes to get to class. Maddie wrap up her conversation and then leave. And then I just see Alicia Cassandra go and change and get into her gym clothes, and that's that. So we all go sit in our assigned seats, and Alicia Cassandra comes up to me and she's like, did you tell Maddie about what happened? And I said, what do you mean? yo, I played that shit so good. I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, about me and Peter. And I said, no, why? And she's like, oh, because she found out and she like was just like yelling at me, and you know, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I told her I didn't do it. Like, I'm not gonna admit it. Like, I'm gonna deny it. But she's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, how'd she find out? And she's like, I don't know. Apparently somebody made up like a fake screen name and messaged her and told her everything. That's why I'm asking if, you know, you did it. And I was like, no. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna go ask Olivia. So she goes and asks Olivia, and she's like, did you? And the thing is, like, Olivia and her were not even friends. Like, they were at one point, but at this point they really were not like that close. Like, they were like okay friends, but like it wasn't to the point where they were like good friends or like had like intimate conversations. And Alicia Cassandra told her about what happened with her and Peter. Like, so why would you tell somebody that you barely are even friends with? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, girl, you told everybody. Like, you told so many people. It could have been anybody. Like, don't tell all your business, and then when you get mad because it's coming out, like, I hate people that like be spreading all their business on social media and then be like, everyone's always in my business. Girl, we're on season 2 of your mess because that's all you give us is like, so we're waiting for season 3. Like, what's up? Like, where is it at, you know? So anyway, she goes into Olivia and asks her, like, did you tell? And Olivia's like, no. And she's like, okay, like, I don't know who told. And then she's like, you know what? It doesn't even matter who told. The fact of the matter is that she knows now, and I need to figure out what I'm going to do. And I'm like, girl, just tell her the truth. And then it's the fucking psychoticness for me. She literally tries to, I feel like I'm like Jada on Red Table Talks. I'm on my vanity, and I'm like, but she tries to like start saying to us, like, we didn't even hook up, we just like messed around, like we kissed and stuff. Stop, like, don't lie if you can't remember your lies. Told us something completely different. You're just saying that because you feel guilty. So she basically had to just navigate like what she was gonna do, because she was scared, because like I said, Maddie had older sisters and they did not play when it came around to their little sister. Like, they did not play. Like, don't, like, everybody knew, don't mess with Maddie. Like, because first of all, Maddie will kill you, and second of all, her sisters will kill you. Like, don't mess with her. So I don't know why she thought at any point in time that this would be like a good idea. So basically, like, me and Olivia kind of started freaking out because we're like, oh my god, like, what are we gonna do? Like, what if she finds out it's us? But she's like, there's no way anyone's gonna find out, like, it was a screen name, you know? So then I think maybe the next day in homeroom, that's when Maddie came up to me and she's like, did you hear what happened? And I'm like, what? And she's like, Peter and Alicia Cassandra hooked up. She's like, I can't believe she would do that to me. And I was like, girl, I'm so sorry. I was like, I see how hurt you are, and like, I really am sorry. Like, that sucks. Like, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. And she's like, thanks, girl, I just don't know what to do. Like, I feel so betrayed. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So basically, Maddie tried to confront Alicia Cassandra again and tried to ask her, like, can you please just tell me the truth? What happened? And again, Alicia Cassandra refused to tell her the truth and kept telling her nothing happened. Like, we were just all hanging out and drinking. It was just like, you know, like a fun party. Like, nothing happened. We didn't do anything. And then eventually Peter ended up confessing and saying that they did hook up. And then her story went from, we didn't do anything, we just like hung out, blah, 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 to Maddie to, okay, maybe we like cuddled and like did a couple things, like fooled around, like that was it. We never like actually like officially like did anything. And I'm like, girl, just tell the fucking truth. The truth will set you free. That's the thing about me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm no angel. Like, I've done like my fair share of like mistakes and things like that, but I stand on what I said. If I did it and I said it, yes, I did it. And you would do it too for a check. I'm just kidding, but like literally, like, I will admit to it. Like, I'm a very honest person. Like, if somebody were to come up to me and be like, did you say this? I'd be like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. And I'd do it again. No, I'm just kidding. But no, for real. So she just kept lying. And like, I think that's the point where Maddie was like, she basically was like, this girl's never gonna admit to me what she actually did. Like, this girl's not shit. She went against girl code X, Y, and Z, whatever. Maddie and Peter ended up ending things. She was like, I want nothing to do with you. Like, go do what you want. And this is why it doesn't make sense as to why Alicia Cassandra lied, because Alicia Cassandra and Peter ended up being together, I want to say maybe like this happened close to November, so just like a month later. And they weren't keeping it quiet. They were pretty public about it. So I just felt like that was, first of all, not shit for Peter to do. But from the last story times, we already know that Peter's not shit. So there's that. And I felt like for Alicia Cassandra, she proved that she was lying because she went ahead and got together with him a month later. It's always the ones they tell you not to worry about. It's always the ones they tell you not to worry about. Straight up. So anyway, I need some more gloss because this gloss is not glossing as much as it was glossing, and I cannot have dry lips. Not in these streets. Fast forward a month later, Peter and Alicia Cassandra end up dating. Now get this. They end up dating. Maddie basically like hates Alicia Cassandra. Like she hates her, okay? Hates her. So what ends up happening is every year around Christmas, we have something called a Christmas assembly. And what it is where basically we go in the auditorium, we all sit in our assigned sections. As freshmen, we were on the balcony, and then it was like seniors in the middle, juniors on the side, and then sophomores on the other side. So we were in the balcony, and I was sitting next to Alicia Cassandra, and Maddie was in front of me. And Maddie literally made it her mission to make sure that every single time she saw Alicia Cassandra to like say something to her, to shout at her, to make her feel uncomfortable. Like she basically in her head was like, if I can't do anything to make you two like be sorry for what you did, I'm gonna make sure you know that I hate you. Like she literally made it her life mission, and I can't even blame her. It was messed up what they did. So we were like in the middle of the assembly, and I was sitting next to Alicia Cassandra, and Alicia Cassandra was actually talking to Ryan. You can come say hi. Hi. I'm editing this and realized that I completely said the wrong name. I meant to say Matt.
I lost a tooth
She did.
today.
Ooh, big money tings. All right, go get your dessert. I meant to say Matt, not Ryan. Ryan is the first story time I ever did in this channel about how Matt cheated on me. Matt is the one that's in the I cheated and snitched story, and also I think that I fought my best friend story. That's my ex, not Ryan. I mean, Ryan's my ex too, but in this story I'm talking about Matt. So every time I say Ryan, think of Matt. Every time I say Ryan, think of Matt. M-A-T-T, Matt. You know Ryan, the guy in my videos that just like isn't shit. You guys know Ryan. Like Ryan's the one that I was like in love with for like 5 million years, like from middle school to high school, and he like was just horrible to me. Like yeah, they were actually like best friends, so it goes to show how good of character they, you know, they were. But she was talking to him, and Maddie turned around and she was like, "Be careful, Ryan, you might catch something." Maddie, shut up. And then Ryan couldn't hear her, so he kept saying, what? 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 And then finally, Alicia Cassandra goes, she's telling you that if you sit next to me, you're gonna catch something. That's the funny part. That wasn't the funny part. When I was like, this part. So, Alicia Cassandra had a neighbor. She ended up talking to Peter behind Alicia Cassandra's back, and then Alicia Cassandra found out, and she was so mad at her, and they like fought for like weeks, like not physical but like, you know, verbal. And I'm like, girl, that's your karma for what you did to Maddie. But then peep this, Maddie and Alicia Cassandra ended up making up. Like maybe like 3 months later, I just got really lightheaded. Hold on. That was why, like, in this town, like, that shit always happened. People would always fight and, like, talk so much crap about each other, cause so much turmoil, so much drama, and then literally, like, months later, they would be, like, best friends again. It's like, girl, how? You just hated her and were ready to literally, like, destroy her life. You go from that to being, how? Make it make sense. The math is not mathing. Well, the story is, Peter's a little hoe. Peter just be petering in everybody's life and hoeing around. Maddie, don't know why you took Alicia Cassandra back. Alicia Cassandra, I hope you've done some self-work on yourself, because girl, you need it. No, honestly, you want to know what's crazy is that she and I, like, were like, we were really close like freshman year, and then like sophomore, junior year, she was just like, we weren't really like that close. And senior year we became really close, and we were really good friends again. Like we got back on good terms. And there was something that happened to me that I'm not going to talk about, but she was like spreading rumors about it in like a very like negative way, and it was something like very personal that happened to me. And when I found out she did that, I literally took all that pent up anger from years and years and years and like went off on her, like smooth the fuck off, because I'm like, how dare you, like that just shows how bad of a person you were. And then peep this, right? So then right before I left for New Jersey, she tried starting something with me. I don't remember what it was, but she tried like starting like with me. Like she was like trying to like start like a fight with me, and low-key trying to say that she wanted to pull up to my house and fight me. Which, girl, first of all, we all know you can't fight, first of all. Second of all, I'm not gonna waste my time on you because you're just no. And third of all, for what? What did I do? So she was mad at me for literally like the stupidest thing, right? Tried to fight me, and then I just was like, I'm not talking to this girl no more. Like, she's a hot mess. Like, grow up, you know? So I left New Jersey, and she tried calling me like a month later asking me to hang out. I'm like, first of all, I don't live there anymore, and second of all, like, no. With you, absolutely not. And then she tried like 6 months ago sliding in my DMs asking me if I want to buy her fucking hair products from like Monat or something like that. Like, get your pyramid scheme bullying ass out of here. It's always the people that bullied you in high school that try to get you to buy into their pyramid scheme. Like, girl, bye. Nobody wants your wraps. Nobody wants your shampoo. Nobody wants that. Like, do you remember when you literally like bullied me? Like, goodbye. Like, sorry, I needed to just vent about that really quick. That is essentially about the time where me and my best friend got in cahoots and we're like A from Pretty Little Liars. Like, Toby, you're not A. Mona, you're not A. CC, you're not A. It's me. I'm A. And told our friend about how our other friend was hooking up with her man. It got really messy. It got really weird. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out in the algorithm. While you're at it, subscribe. It is absolutely free, and why not join the Coda Crew family? And while you're doing that, please turn your post notifications on by clicking the bell icon in the corner. That way you're notified every single time I post a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always love and appreciate all your support. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias, my Twitter, my TikTok, my Instagram, my Snapchat, all linked here. While you're doing that, follow me on my podcast, Elevate Entirely. I am going to start posting on there more regularly. And today's post notification shout out goes to, I butcher your name, don't hate me, I'm sorry, but Gracilia Sapone said, you have grown and blossomed so much, Dakota. I'm so proud of you. I hope this story time reaches others that need to hear it. Much love, babes. Much love to you as well. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for your sweet comment. It really keeps me going. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Ew, that was disgusting. Bye.